Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the welcome as well to day 14 of the Past Masters series. The painting I'm bringing you today, I'm not aware of the actual title, but the artist's name is Charles Melville Dewey, and really all I knew about it until just now is his name was Dewey. And Charles Melville Dewey, he was a tonalist. Let's read you a little bit from Wikipedia here. 1849 to 1937, Charles Melville Dewey was an American tonalist painter. He was born in New York and confined to his bed from his 12th to his 17th year by hip disease. He formed the poetic conception of nature which appears in his pictures. Well, I guess while he was in his bed. He studied at the National Academy of Design, 1874-76, and in Paris. And he was working and painting in New York City. Dewey's work has a highly individual poetic sentiment and generally depicts subdued mornings and evening effects, which leads us to why I like him and why I did this painting here. So I really like this painting of his, and I did a study after it. It's really reminds me of a bit of an Ines. It's of course featuring an oak tree at sunset and a few buildings and things, which is not something I usually put into my own work. But what I like, actually I would do it if I could find a situation like this where they were silhouetted or whatever and in the background. That works for me just fine. I would do that in my own stuff too, but it doesn't seem to generally work out that way for me. And what can you say? This was 100 and something years ago, and we're modern people now. We use modern methods, and we actually do modern paintings. Although I get called a traditional painter all the time, I really see myself as a modern painter, not a modern painter in the sense as what they call modern art or contemporary art. But I am a modern person who lives in the modern world, and I do paintings that are influenced by traditional guys like Dewey. In fact, before I ever did any studies after any tonalists, I was doing my own thing and in my own way. But I was definitely influenced by these guys because I just love the quiet, reflective approach to painting that's embodied in tonalism. And I would have to be honest and say not every painting I do would actually qualify as tonalism in the traditional sense. But these days people need to, well, not just these days, it's been that way forever, but people have to hang their hat on what you do. You're an impressionist, you're a tonalist, you're whatever, a contemporary slam dancer, I don't know, but it's handy to have a hook, and that is the hook that I have chosen. And for the most part, I do cleave to a tonalist way of working, but not always. You look at some of my purple into yellow landscapes, I don't see very many tonalists that do that. That's sort of almost getting to be Fauvist in a way. But I don't know, even if there was a Fauvist landscape movement, I'm sure there was something going down. Anyway, today is Saturday, March 3rd here in New Zealand, and unlike most Saturdays, I have not made it to the studio, and today I will be going in this afternoon, though. I've got a painting in mind I want to do, and I've set up some reference, and I'm actually pretty excited about the painting I've set up, and I think I'm going to do a 6x8 study. Yesterday I completed, I didn't complete, but I did the majority of the work on a 8x12 that, and I mentioned it in the podcast yesterday, that I think is going to make a good scene to be done as a sign and numbered print. And it's got one of these really nice, what are called Pahudakawa trees out here. They're a bit like a cypress. Very interesting trees. They grow right down up on the water, and they're very much a focal point of a lot of beaches out here in New Zealand, and we have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So, and one of the reasons for that is these trees. They come down right on the beach. They usually have some rocks around them and things, and I'm not sure. I think the rocks may have been put there by people in a lot of cases. But whoa, we just did a major glaze on old Dewey. You can see that. I have had some requests from people about more information about my color palette and stuff, and I think what I might do is just do a video that goes through my current palette. It's not always changing, but it does change, and just something I can pop on YouTube that I can point people to. I realize that a lot of people, when they're starting out, they want information, and I did too, but I guess I had a bit of an advantage in that I was a commercial illustrator. I understood what it meant to get the job done, and there's no substitute for experience. That's the thing that you learn when you start making money with your art, or showing extensively or whatever. You have to actually do the work. There are very, very few shortcuts. You can subscribe to a system that some painters laying out, and you might even have some success. However, in fact, I mean, go ahead, just pick a painter and start with their palette, but make sure you start modifying things down the road as you start feeling different ways about things and trying different things. And you don't want to be an echo of another painter. And to me, the actual selection of a color palette is highly subjective, and in my case, it's totally designed for the what it is I want to accomplish. But I think I will be making a video, so go ahead and wait for that. No, seriously, I'll get right on it. I'm going to get on it. I might even do it today. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate all you new subscribers so much, and the ones of you guys that have stayed with me. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.